Chess is more than a game. It's strategy, it's intelligence, it's friendship. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my channel. The game has just begun.
Hi chess friends, I'm here to show you a game that was not played by human. Now we are in a machine game. We have artificial intelligence AlphaZero versus machine of chess Stockfish, computer of chess. Probably the main difference between an intelligent artificial and a computer is that for the computer you have to teach everything, every move. So a computer know everything that no human, okay? So, but is not the same thing for an intelligent artificial. For the intelligent artificial, AlphaZero is something of incredible, because it can learn alone, all self. It can learn everything. You have only to wait sometimes, and I have discovered that in only 4 hours, AlphaZero discovered 150 years of chess. He learned 150 years of chess in 4 hours. Only 4 hours. So now it continues to improve, and we can find now an incredible game by AlphaZero. A lot of chess players try to see and study this game and try to use for their games to improve and to try to win, like Carlsen or Caruana, but they are not able to understand the reason of their move, because now we are in a completely different world of intelligent artificial. Welcome to the game of AlphaZero. We can begin. AlphaZero open with knight f3. Stockfish play knight f6. c4. b6. d4. e6. g3. Bishop a6 by AlphaZero. Queen c2. c5 by Stockfish. d5. e4 d5. d c4 d5 and bishop e5. I know what now you are asking. You push this pawn? Really? You leave a wall pawn capture to be captured? For human and Stockfish? No, it is impossible. It is a bad move, but not for AlphaZero, that see something that nobody and nothing can see. No machine can see. d5. And you leave the pawn. Why? Bishop b7. Attacking this pawn 2 times. Bishop g2. AlphaZero is not interested to defend the pawn. he could play this and hold the pawn, but not AlphaZero. He leaves the pawn free. So Stockfish catch with a knight. Castle by AlphaZero. Knight c6 by Stockfish. Rook d1. Bishop e7. And Queen f5 by AlphaZero. Here Queen is so strong. He attack a lot of point. He put pressure here on f7. He put pressure here on d5. He's threatening to hit the knight. You can't here accept this knight, capture this knight. You can control. Stockfish sees this. If you play this, you lose because there is simple knight here and you attack the queen and the rook and you have not the possibility. You have to move the queen, for example, there, but then you capture with the bishop. And if you do this, you can hit with the bishop here, and you lost a piece simple. So you have to be careful. So Queen f5, Knight f6, a good move. You retreat the knight, you defend the knight in this way, and you defend this pawn. For now, seems that the sacrifice of pawn by AlphaZero, we have 6 pawn here, and black has 7 pawn, seems useless, a bad move. But I repeat, AlphaZero see something that nobody and no machine can see. And we continue. E4 by AlphaZero. G6 by Stockfish, attacking the queen. AlphaZero move queen on f4. Castle by Stockfish. And now e5. This pawn is so strong. Knight h5 by Stockfish, attacking the queen. And now queen g4 by AlphaZero. He tried to keep the queen in attack. It's curiously that we are analyzing this game with a Stockfish. Normally, for humans games, Stockfish is a Wazom. He can see everything, and it is the perfect machine to analyze the game. But for the game that was played by Stockfish and AlphaZero, what you have to use, you should use not Stockfish. It's not enough strong. You should use AlphaZero to analyze this. Rook e8, Knight c3, Queen b8, and Knight d5, centralizing the knight. This knight now is so strong. He controls the square. c7. He can jump here, attacking the bishop. e7. Here again f6. So it's terrible strong. Bishop f8. A solid move by Stockfish. He retreats the bishop, and in this way he defends this diagonal and this diagonal. Okay. But now AlphaZero play Bishop f4, Queen c8 by Stockfish to avoid this pushing. If you don't do nothing against this move, a casual move, you risk with this move. Okay, so you can't accept this. So you have to prevent this move. And Queen c8 by Stockfish. h3, knight e7, attacking this knight with two pieces, with the bishop, with the knight. You have to react, and here AlphaZero play knight e3, knight e3, retreating the knight. Bishop c6 by Stockfish. And now AlphaZero infiltrate with the rook, rook d6. This is a so strong move. With this move, AlphaZero blocks the pushing of this d5 pawn, and this pawn e5 is so strong and allows this rook here. So incredible position, really incredible position. Knight g5 by Stockfish, and rook f8, f6. If this rook remain here, AlphaZero as a Stockfish can react with a casual move, with move like this, and in this way, if you capture, and this bishop now can capture the rook. So it's not possible to keep the rook here, and AlphaZero infiltrates the rook, f6. We can see the beauty of this infiltration of the rook, rook d6, and rook f6. This block again, once a time again, the pushing of this pawn. So the space of Stockfish is less. Queen b7, creating a very strong battery on this diagonal, putting pressure here. And now bishop g6, blocking this pushing. This rook defends this knight, this bishop defends this knight, this queen defends this knight, so you have no problem of this diagonal. This pawn remains this terrible strong position. I think that here we have a beauty of position of AlphaZero. All pieces are so strong. This pawn, this rook, this bishop, this queen, incredible. This knight can jump here on g5. A really beautiful position. Knight d5 by Stockfish. Now knight capture on d5. Bishop capture on d5. Now rook d1. AlphaZero activates the last pieces. This knight e6, trying to change this bishop, and AlphaZero here capture. Bishop for f8, rook for f8, and now you have to try to create something. And AlphaZero plays queen h4, trying to infiltrate the queen. Bishop c6, queen h6. You can see how much is difficult to defend this king. This pawn, f pawn, cannot push. This pawn, h pawn, cannot push. This rook block everything. This queen block everything. This pawn is so strong. Rook e8. And now what a move again by AlphaZero. And we can see how he's really able to destroy Stockfish completely in the position. Stockfish is completely destroyed, and for human, Stockfish is a master, so we can see together. Rook d6, a perfect position for white, with this rook, pawn, rook, queen. Stockfish cannot push the pawn, cannot push f pawn, h pawn, so you can see the terrible position for Stockfish. This rook are here, this rook are here, cannot do nothing. You can see how AlphaZero use his pieces to after infiltration to block the other pieces of the opponent. And yeah, you can move this knight if you see. Not only pawn, not only d, f, and h pawn. You can not move this knight because if you do this, for example, move like this, there is a sacrifice of the rook, and you lose. If you accept, you lose. Not yet now. We can see together that maybe not this sacrifice is possible. But it's a draw. But you can play here knight here, and now you lose. You have to do some check, suggest Stockfish, and yeah, checkmate. So you lose with the knight here, so you can't move this knight. So all pieces are blocked. So here Stockfish capture, AlphaZero capture, and now Queen a6. And now Stockfish leaves this pawn again. It's not important a pawn for Stockfish. For AlphaZero, he tried to attack. Stockfish put Queen on a5 and Rook d1 of Stockfish of AlphaZero. c4 attacking this pawn, and now Rook d5 defends this pawn. Queen e1, Black Queen tried to infiltrate, but King g2 here is incredible save. He defends his pawn, and we have this strong beauty of pawn. So defense of pawn. c3, big capture for c3, queen for c3, and now we have this position where AlphaZero has 5 pawns and Stockfish has 6 pawns. But for Stockfish it's incredibly difficult to move some pieces. h5 by Stockfish, trying to open. By AlphaZero, sorry. AlphaZero use a lot the h-pawn to open up the position of the king, opponent king. Rook d7 to defend this point, and now Bishop d1, Queen e1, Bishop b3, Rook d8. Stockfish has no move. You can see this rook incredible passive. This queen is alone here, so can do nothing. Really difficult position. And Rook f3, Queen e4, pushing this pawn. You can't push it. So Rook here is strong. Rook, because if you push this pawn, the f pawn, you can capture with h4g. So not a move. And now AlphaZero play Queen d2. Now he attacks this point, and is incredible. He knows how when move a piece. He leaves the queen here for a lot of times, and now he moves the queen. Queen g4 attacking this pawn, and now Bishop d1. You can't capture this pawn with a queen because would be move like this. So you can't move. You can't hit with a pawn, but you are incredible weak. So on the king side. So queen e4, and now g6 of Stockfish. He put this pawn on g6. We have this terrible strong pawn and this terrible strong pawn. AlphaZero use pawn really well, and he leaves the pawn to create attack. Knight c7 and rook d6. We have Stockfish in a terrible position. Knight e6, Stockfish try to repeat, and now bishop b3 again, putting pressure here. And finally AlphaZero, the Stockfish capture this pawn. And it is possible? Yeah. AlphaZero leaves another pawn? Yeah, he leaves another pawn. 4 pawn against 6 pawn, not a human position. Stockfish here is in a bad position. He has 2 pawn more, but he's in a bad position. And only AlphaZero can do something like this. Rook d5 and queen h8. Here, he retreats the queen. And now we can see this queen here on h8. AlphaZero play queen b4, attacking this rook. Knight c5, and now rook capture for c5. Another sacrifice. What a vision of the game by AlphaZero. And now queen h4. Yeah, you have seen well. She sacrificed after 2 pawn a rook and not gain a pawn. He's not interested. He want to play active, attack. And he played queen h4, putting pressure here on f6 and attacking the rook. You can't play this rook because here can capture the bishop, and you have to play rook e8. But now we discover the reason of this move. Queen h4 is rook f7, cutting off this diagonal for the queen. Now the queen can't move. If he moves here, is captured with the pawn, and he has to remain. Has no escaping. If you play different, if you capture this pawn, here you attack the rook, yeah, but you can't do this move. Sorry about that. You can't do this move, so the queen can capture the rook. For this reason, AlphaZero plays this sacrifice, and now this move, only for the position, and now this queen cannot move. Rook f8, because we have 2 pressure here on f7 pawn, and this queen and this rook are not playing, you can see. And now queen f4, AlphaZero improves the position, slowly, but improves the position. a4 and g4, d5, and now bishop capture on d5. AlphaZero is in completely control of the game, and Stockfish has no move. And now rook d5, and simple bishop c4. You can't play moves like this if you are asking, because you can play this bishop check, rook, and now the queen infiltrate, check, and you have to defend, okay, with your rook, and you lose. You take checkmate, so you can't play this move. Now g5. Little by little improve the position. So now the point is that this queen can move, and this rook can keep here this position, this f6 square, and continue to cut off this this diagonal for the queen, because now there is a pawn to defend this rook, so the queen can move over around for. So is not a material, doesn't count nothing here material, you can see. A3 and queen f3, rook c7, Stockfish has no move, and now queen for a3, and now you can push this pawn. And we have this position where this queen, this rook, f7 pawn, h7 pawn can't move. So AlphaZero, Stockfish now play queen for f6. He crushed completely and sacrificed the queen by to do something. Here AlphaZero capture, and now we have rook c8, queen d3, rook f8, queen d6, rook c8 again, and now simple a4. And in this position, Stockfish resign, AlphaZero wins. We have seen how the strongest machine in the world, Stockfish, is completely destroyed by an intelligent artificial, and how the chess's future is not only material, like strong players sometimes do, but is a position, is to put a crisis in a position of the opponent. And we can see together how. You can see that here Stockfish doesn't see this move, this sacrifice. You can see the strong. Yeah. From the beginning, this sacrifice of pawn, this is so strong. And now the infiltration of the rook that blocks the pushing of pawn, and now the infiltration here of other rook. We can see this position. And the beauty in the end, leaving another pawn here on e5, and now this so strong combination. And a lot of players try to study this game, I have told you, but the point is that they are not able to understand. Magnus Carlsen, the strongest player chess in the world, is not able to understand this move. So the future now is not for creating something of more strong. Yes, obviously he is doing it, he is trying, but now is concentrated to try and find a way to explain the move of an intelligent artificial to be understandable for the human. How can human use this game for his improving? Yeah, we will discover. We will discover. And I have talked a lot in this game. I think that was so interesting how works an intelligent artificial. I remember an episode where Caruana used a game of AlphaZero to try to beat Carlsen, but he has done a move of AlphaZero, but he wasn't able to understand it, and he loses. He lost. So yeah, they are too difficult for human. So we can see how Stockfish is a stronger and destroy than human and destroy humans, and AlphaZero destroy Stockfish. So I hope this long video enjoy you, and thank you for watching my video, and see you soon, and bye.